Right now at noon, a judge is sentencing a man in a 2024 murder at the Indiana Convention Center. Our team was in the courtroom as that man learned how many years he will serve. We'll bring you the latest.
Another warm day in progress, already in the 70s, flirting with 80, and we'll talk about a storm chance as well.
Plus, the family of a 7-year-old boy is filing a federal lawsuit after he was raped on a school bus. We have their claims and what they're asking for in compensation. All right, thank you so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Felicia Lawrence. We actually start with the sentencing for a man in the murder of a sound and light technician at the Indiana Convention Center. Brian Fulton has been sentenced to 60 years in prison. This is for stabbing and strangling 50-year-old Al Gosnell. And this was an unprovoked attack. It happened in a hallway at the convention center in September of 2024. The attack was captured on security cameras. Fulton was a former employee at the convention center, but Gosnell did not know him. The judge says Fulton killed Gosnell for no reason whatsoever. Gosnell's adult children testified at the sentencing hearing today. Rich and I had his camera in the courtroom, and we'll bring you their comments when news continues on 13 News at 4. All right, that's one of our top headlines. We have some more to get to, but let's talk about this weather. Meteorologist Sean Ash is here. We have a beautiful day filled with sunshine that could change for some folks.
For some areas here, I'll stress that it's going to be a little narrow zone, more than likely going to be northeast of Indy, but many hours where it's just going to be sunny and warm and a little breezy as well. So we're going to come close to 80 degrees once again here, Felicia. Let's show you our camera network across central Indiana. Mostly sunny. You can see a few clouds that have flared up in Connorsville there in Fayette County. These are harmless, although earlier this morning we did have some small hail producing thunderstorms there. This is what it looks like at the Country Club of Indianapolis. Again, where we got some sunshine and just a few clouds. It is another warm day. We are already in the 70s here, and we've got several more hours of heating to go. Now, yesterday at this time, we had a lot of 35 to near 40 mile per hour gusts. That's not the case right now. I do think these numbers will start to pick up a little bit for the rest of today. You take the map and compare it to 24 hours ago, about 3 to 5 degrees warmer than yesterday's 78-degree pace. So we should get a little bit closer to 80 degrees here. It's a west-southwest wind. The air is still relatively dry. Here's the after-school forecast here. We're forecasting highs near 80. That slight chance of a thunderstorm around the metro area. There's going to be a higher chance to the northeast. Should be another nice evening if you're heading to the ballpark. Enjoy it. Temperatures again in the 70s. I'll have a little bit more on that storm chance for the evening and how long the warmth will last in the 7-day forecast.
All right, thanks so much, Sean. An Indiana native is back in prison after being released less than 2 months ago. Dustin, also known as Dusty, Dustin Turner, was granted early release in January after 30 years in a Virginia prison for a 1995 murder. He was officially released on parole March 5th, but yesterday he went back into jail after being arrested and booked in Virginia for a parole violation. Details surrounding the violation have not yet been released. We will update you once we learn more. The family of a boy sexually assaulted on a school bus in Jennings County is demanding accountability. They recently filed a lawsuit against the district, and it alleges neglect from both the bus driver and the bus monitor, allowing the 7-year-old victim to be repeatedly assaulted on the bus. There are nearly 40 pages in the federal lawsuit detailing the abuse of this 7-year-old. The suspect, Landon Doty, was convicted of 12 felonies, but the suit claims there were even more attacks on that school bus. Lawyers say there were at least 14 separate incidents captured on video. The suit says the bus driver and the bus monitor were negligent by assigning Doty to sit next to the young boy at the back of the bus. It also says while the assaults happened again and again, the driver and monitor failed to provide supervision.
Why would you then put our 7-year-old nonverbal autistic child in a seat with the 15-year-old, the only two that are together in a seat on the bus, and put them at the back of the bus? It wasn't a mistake, though. At the criminal trial, they explain why that happened. They made the decision to put our client in the same seat as this 15-year-old so that the 15-year-old could restrain him if he stood up. They delegated their supervision of this child to a known child with behavioral problems.
The family is now asking for $10.5 million in compensation, while also wanting the school to put new policies in place to protect students in the future. The school corporation has until May 26 to file a response to the lawsuit. Landon Doty's sentencing was scheduled for next week. It has been pushed back to August 24th. We have more details from this lawsuit on WTHR.com. And a new Whiteland man's family is searching for answers after he was found dead months after he went missing. Werner Gatchian did have dementia. He went missing last August. His body was found in a drainage ditch in Greenwood along State Road 135 in March. Forensic testing found no evidence of trauma, and his cause of death is unclear. His family still does not know how he ended up so far from home.
I mean, we're talking like roughly 4 miles from his house. So like, was he in the fields? Was he, how did he get here?
Lots of questions. Gatchian's family asked anyone who lives in the area to check their security camera video from August 31st through September 15th. They also asked for video along Tracy Road in US 31, where Gatchian liked to walk. Police are also reminding families of programs like Project Lifesaver, which allows you to track loved ones with dementia. Tonight, there will be a vigil for the victims of suspected serial killer Herb Baumeister. It's set for 6:30 at the Fox Hollow Memorial at Prairie Garden Event Center in Westfield. A panel discussion will start at 7 to discuss the current status of the future of the investigation. Jenny Runovich will lead that discussion. Baumeister died by suicide in 1996 after an excavation at his estate found thousands of remains. He's suspected in the deaths of at least 25 young men, and investigators believe he could be responsible for the disappearance of many more. The Protect Martindale Brightwood group says they are not backing down from a fight against a planned data center. Metroblocks is planning to bring that data center to 25th and Sherman. The Metropolitan Development Commission already signed off on the plan, and the councilor who represents the district says he does not intend to call the proposal before the full council. So it may only be a matter of time before construction begins. But many people at a community meeting last night, they say they are not giving up. Protect Martindale Brightwood organizers say they have engaged with an attorney and they want judicial review of the MDC decision. The data center debate has been front and center across our state and nationally. Well, now some communities are putting a pause on building them until the impact can be studied. In the last year, more than 100 communities across the country have started hitting the brakes. So far, at least 4 Indiana counties have enacted or considered moratoriums on new projects. Governor Mike Braun is not calling for a moratorium in the state, but is supporting oversight.
You got to be careful. It cannot impact in any way the cost of electricity to Hoosier families or businesses. It will be a big economic benefit if the local areas want them.
So it's important to point out that not all proposed moratoriums have passed. You can read the full breakdown of these pauses right now on WTHR.com. And the Department of Metropolitan Development is hosting info sessions for anyone wanting to learn more about data centers. Both meetings next week are virtual. The first is Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30. Then a second meeting is happening Thursday from noon to 1. Registration is required to participate. We have a link up so you can sign up on WTHR.com.